We are live from the new sales room.
I'm certainly alive, Craig, and so our guest tonight.
Our guest tonight, we have with us Ozay Rinpoche, the famous writer,
Hello,
which you've probably heard about,
yeah.
and Ahi Rantha, who's also joined us today.
Hello.
And we're going to be talking all about the things that are going on in the world at the moment. And I know that both of our friends here have some interesting ideas that we can share with you with your questions tonight. So we're going to say hello to everybody first and see what you have to say. Who's with us tonight, if anybody? And was there anybody there?
Well, you want to welcome people to Sounds Room.
Yay!
Agility Bits.
Cornwall. Yeah.
Agility Bits, of course, is Pat down in Cornwall.
Hi, Pat.
She's one of our regular patrons. So hi, Pat. Nice to see you again. Welcome to the new set. Hope you guys like this new set at the Seance Room. We're not doing a seance tonight as such. Ian, hello from Shoreham. Can you see them? You can see
hello, Ian.
We've got a camera down. We've got a little screen down there. We can see you guys as you come on. Nana Rosebud, hi from Samuels Thomas and me from Totten.
Oh, hello.
Miles away. That's a place out in near ancient Tibet. That is, I believe.
Totten, yeah.
Totten,
Yeah.
Dino, hello from Connecticut, USA. Prayers for Ukraine.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
Say a few of those, Jane.
Well, I will. If you,
You
let
can
me,
read
Craig.
it.
I have to put my glasses on, I'm afraid. And then we've got, is that?
New York?
Yeah, no, hello from New York, yeah.
Yeah.
And Time Waster, greetings from Australia.
Australia. Good
Yeah.
day, mate.
Imagine your mother calling you time waster.
Yeah.
I mean,
My mother called me.
Could be worse.
tough, isn't
It could
it?
be
My mother
time
used to call me a
filler.
waster.
It could be time filler.
A fabulous name, yeah.
You little waster.
Julie, hi Craig, Jane and guests. Really happy to see you live at last. Love the new set. Well, thank you and welcome to our seance room.
Yeah, wonderful. Cape Town, wow.
Right down in South Africa there. Faisal, nice for you to join us. Same timeline actually, same time there.
And
as
Ireland, hello from Ireland.
Hello.
Ireland.
I'm from Wales.
Hello, Ireland.
Yeah.
We're next door neighbours.
Yes.
Yeah. Any Welsh people out there?
Tasha, hello from where, Craig?
British Columbia,
British
fantastic.
Columbia. Actually, I should put my
Yeah.
glasses on to look at these.
Yes.
Sitting in the low light here, and all the spirits moving around us. Yeah.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
It's Ozay's
Toodaloo.
favorite word, yes.
Parlez-vous français?
Yeah.
Mais oui.
Not true.
That's all I know.
Hi Craig and Jane, many congratulations on completing 1 lakh subscribers. That's
Yes.
100,000 subscribers, a lakh in Indian.
Fantastic.
Best wishes to you and your entire team. And this is this is really brilliant. Thank you everyone for making this, getting us up to 100 subscribers, because it means a lot. I think it means a lot to YouTube. We get some special prize and a blue tick or something like that. And more people following us. So keep following us, keep telling all your friends, keep sharing this with people and the rest of it, and we might get up to the 1 million subscribers one day.
Aye.
So thanks for that. Good evening, Craig and Jane and friends from Warwickshire. Love and light to all in the Ukraine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Teresa.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll be talking about that a lot tonight.
Yeah.
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 So is that it? Is that it? Suspense.
It's a
We wait for the
sad
next one.
situation.
Looks like we
Yeah.
must be ready for a chat. Yeah. Well, okay. I think we're ready for a chat now then.
Yeah.
So I don't know where we go with this, really. I mean, we've just been chatting generally, don't we, about
Yeah.
Ukraine. I don't know what your thoughts are on it generally.
Yeah.
Well, very sad, isn't it?
It
Sad
is.
situation that the common people are being killed without any say in it at all.
I mean, there's an orphanage being destroyed, I heard, 2 schools. You know, it's shocking stuff, really.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, today, an image I saw, a poor lady carrying her dog and just had a carrier bag full of belongings.
Yeah.
Even the animals, and there were some animals fleeing to the woods I saw as well.
Yeah.
And even though we've been sort of making predictions about it and things like that, and you say, oh, my predictions come true, and you think, oh my God, it's come true. In fact, you had one come true, I believe, with those berets you were talking about.
Carry on, Craig.
Well, I think you
That was a
said
good
said
one.
on your channel, because if you've not seen Jane's channel, go and have a look at Jane's channel. Jane Hamilton Parker, Psychic Medium, will find it on YouTube. But Jane was saying on that channel, you were saying you saw people with blueberries and red berries going in, didn't you?
Maroon berries.
Maroon berries.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's happened is some of the Israelis have gone in,
The special force.
ex-special forces, because I don't think they'd actually be wearing the berries, but they would normally wear those berries.
And I done that prediction before it happened.
And I expect
Yeah.
the blueberries, hopefully you're right, because
United
that would be the
Nations.
United Nations. If the United Nations are in there, then we've got a peacekeeping force. But
Yeah.
if that's happened, yeah, it might happen.
Well,
we hope.
I was telling you a bit earlier about my brother, and he's made a family out there in Sumy.
Yeah,
Sumy.
Sumy.
It's on the eastern border of Ukraine and Russia, and he's like 68 years old,
Yeah.
and they've called him up. He's fighting. They stick arms in their hands, and there's people out there lying on the streets dead.
Oh.
Yeah.
And because I've been checking the mayor's Facebook account, and he's putting everything on there, and
Mhm.
there's people dead on the streets, and they're worried about the dog going there and eating them.
Oh
That's how
God.
bad it is
Yeah,
out there.
yeah. I mean,
So it's
when you
not
start
very-
to get the real sort of
Yeah.
nitty gritty of it, isn't it?
Yeah,
You
we
know.
get a daily update from
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
brother through WhatsApp.
Yeah, so I've been watching it, like,
Yeah.
looking to see if but he doesn't want to leave the place because he's made his home there and he wants to stay there. But they're fighting like mad over there.
No
Yeah.
power,
And
no
you're not hearing
food.
all this.
Yeah.
You're not hearing it all on the media.
Yeah.
No.
And I have to, like I said, search on a special site, Facebook account, and he's giving all the information about what's happening in Sumy.
Yeah.
They're trying to circle it all off. And I think personally that the river that runs down, what is it? It's called, I wrote it down on my hand
I know the
somewhere.
one you mean. I've been talking about that.
The Knight or
some of the-
something like
yeah.
that. And I was thinking there's an escape route to get out of there because
Uh-huh.
they're entrapping them. And I think they're going to annex the whole thing off down the river.
I thought
That's what I think
you're
they're
picking
gonna
up what
do.
I was picking up,
Yeah.
because I was saying in some of my predictions that I thought that river could be the dividing line.
Yeah.
And Putin, does he need to go any further than that? Because Ukraine is partly Ukrainian speakers
Yeah.
and partly Ukrainian Russian
Yeah, that's right.
speakers.
Yeah.
So could that be the dividing line? Could that be the point where he decides to stop? Or is he going to go the whole way?
I think exactly what you said there, both things, because I think that he's a wise man for starters, and I think people are underestimating him. And
People in the
I mean, he's
West.
been talking about this for 15 years. He's been worried about the NATO expanding so far to the east, and he's warned us about it for 15 years. And nobody listened to him. Now they're listening to him. Now there's war going on. So and I think what he's going to do. This is my own personal opinion. I don't mean I'm right. It's just my opinion. I think he's gonna do like East and West Germany, and he's going to have West Ukraine,
Eastern Ukraine and Western Ukraine.
and
And he wants to keep the coast as well.
But when he gets there, right, I think he's going to sit down and look at it, what he's done so far, and I think he's going to start thinking about moving further west.
Yeah.
Or
So
he
you
might
think there's limits to his thing? Or the other thought
I think he'll
could
make
be,
his mind
I
up.
think
He hasn't
that's
made his mind up. That's what I think.
that's pretty close to what
Yeah.
I've been saying.
Because you have two ways with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the other thought is, because I think he's ill. I think he's ill in lots of levels. But I think if he is, supposing he's got some terminal illness, this is the end of his days, and he wants to make a real mark on the world, and his ego is out of control, and he wants to really sort of say Putin is a name that people will remember, because these guys are not just interested in money, they're not just interested in power, they're interested in history. And could he be thinking that Putin is the man that set off World War III? I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think if that's true,
But it's a thought, isn't it?
If that's true, then he's gonna nuke people, and he's gonna. I mean, that's just, you don't want to really think about that because there's no world after that. Nobody can win a nuclear war,
No.
and I think he knows that. So what's left after?
But does it
Even
matter
if he
to a
knows he's-
dying man?
Yeah, but
And-
he's.
And also, why attack that nuclear power station? Why go your first troops go into Chernobyl? Why sort of start rattling the nuclear fears in people so early on?
Exactly that, and that's
You
what
know?
I think is. I think he got a good understanding of psychology of human beings, human nature, because I've watched some of his YouTubes, and do you know why they don't put him on the Western media? Because he can out-debate everybody, And debate is supposed to be democratic. That fella, he's good. You go and watch his YouTubies, and he's good at debate. He knows what he's thinking, and he's got crystal reasoning, and he's straight to the point.
He's certainly got his mind
tells the truth.
set on something or other.
Yeah,
he's
he
got
shoots
a
people
plan in his mind. Whether that same plan is what his generals
Right.
would want, or what the national population
But
would like. Let's have a look
Rudy,
at what they
yeah.
just said there.
Yeah.
Right, I would like to thank Rudy. Good morning, my favourite psychics. I just wanted to say to the world that remember, Putin doesn't speak for Russians and the Russian people. They hate him as much as we do, just as my wife, Dara, does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his wife might be Russian, because we saw something yesterday as well, that the Russian people, I don't know if the majority or minority, but a lot of Russian peoples don't want this war
No.
at all. And they want us in the West to know this war is not in my name.
Yeah. I say it's Putin invading Russia, not Putin invading Ukraine, not Russia invading Ukraine.
That's
Because I
right.
think this agenda is Putin's own agenda. I don't think it's, you know, I was saying, when you see him on that long table, is he putting all his generals, because he makes the generals sit at the end of a long table now too, not just these sort of delegates from overseas. Is he keeping everybody at bay? Is that kind of like symbolic? If I'm in charge, you're over there, sort of thing, you know? So it makes you fear. It makes you fear that perhaps that we've got a madman in charge, or have we got a clever man in charge?
Yeah, it can be also.
I mean, I know there's
personally
lots of
think he's-
different views. You quite like
Yeah.
Putin, don't you,
No,
Phil?
no,
No,
I love the world, and I love life, and I hate war, right? And if I see a threat of war, then I'm going to pick up on that thread and see, then I judge who's good and who's bad and who's crazy and who's not. And so far, a lot of people won't like to hear me say what I saw, but I saw the media biased against Trump, and Trump's friendship with Putin. Why shouldn't Trump be friendly with Putin? Because I knew when Trump was being, when they had him on the media and they were like supposed to be democracy, right? Trump was never given any say in anything on our BBC media, and he should be allowed to debate. But everything you heard about Trump was bad. Why were so many people voting for Trump if he was so bad? And then the second thing was, why was they saying that the relationship with Trump and Putin was a negative thing? It was a good thing. The world might have known peace today. They might not be in war today if Trump was still in.
Also, like you're saying there, Phil, the
and
media itself, isn't it? The media is dominating so much.
Don't get me
of
wrong,
this.
right? I'm not into politics. I'm into world peace and world love. But when I see somebody trying to pull the wool over our eyes, and then you have to think about Salzburg, the poisonings. Hang on a minute now. Why would the KGB or the Russian Secret Service advertise that they're coming to England to kill one of their people if they're supposed to be so smart and so, you know, good at killing people? They didn't need to advertise it was Russian poison that killed those people. The same as the other guy. They killed with plutonium. Why did the Russians want to advertise that? That to me is making it too obvious it's
Well, I would have
Russians.
said that they would use a poison like that because ricin is a poison that you can't trace.
Yeah,
That's why they use it, and it's also deadly lethal. You only
but it's
actually
made in
need to
Russia,
touch it.
isn't it? If I remember.
The
right.
only people it's
Yeah.
not supposed to be made anywhere because it's a banned substance internationally.
Who
But
made
they
it first?
thought it came from Russia.
Thought?
So, yeah. So,
So why
the
did they get it?
implications are that it was Russian.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the finger did pretty much point to Russia. I don't think they wanted to make that public knowledge because that was a clandestine sort of secret sort of thing where they killed someone. And I think that in the other predictions, and Jane was saying something similar, but not the poison bit. I think that they're going to have a go, and someone's going to do the same, do a rising or a poisons of some sort on Putin. You know, you only need to touch the stuff and you're dead.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to put it in the person's food. They can just take a ward, or they can shake someone's hand. Or
Yeah, they
can
put it
kill
on
you.
the doorknob,
Yeah,
didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
But if you look at Mars Jupiter here, it makes a really good point as well.
You were right about
Energy policy.
in your prediction. US was able to export oil before Biden, but now US has to buy more Russian and Iranian oil to allow Putin to become rich.
No, I thought he was rich because he's got
Yeah.
all gold
He's personally
bars.
rich,
He's
but
got
you
all
know,
gold bars. The man isn't Paul, Craig.
No,
he's one of the richest men in the world, they reckon.
Yeah,
Although he claims to be not that.
I don't think he's doing it for the money. I think you're more on track about making his name from an ego point of view for history. I don't think in his invasion into the Ukraine has anything to do with enriching himself.
Yeah.
But
But-
why? Sorry, you carry on.
No, sorry.
Well, my point was, right, that from those things that I mentioned earlier about Trump, why was the media so negative towards him, those poisonings, why were they making it so simple that it was Russian?
So
That
obvious.
to me is a plant on, like a secret service in this country, planting it on the Russians so the public would turn against Russia. And to me, they was making anti-Russia sentiment on the news. And so I thought, and I put those things together during the time of the Trump elections, and I said they're trying to make war with Russia. And if I could figure that out from that information and it have happened, then I could well be right in my theory of why
You
this
saw it
war-
coming, in
yeah,
other words.
I saw it coming, yeah, and,
yeah.
and I didn't use no psychic stuff at all then, although I know we sat in circles together. But no, I worked that out from common sense and understanding human nature. And
I think the problem, and one of the problems that we've spoken about before actually is how the mainstream news is really sometimes the last place to look for your information. And yet the alternative news is also covered with all sorts of other rubbish as well. Particularly, I've been noticing, for example, all these videos we've made about this topic. We keep getting people coming in which are obviously Russian bots. They're coming in and they're trying to push agendas that are such as, for example, that the Americans have hidden bioweapons in Ukraine, which this is something the Russians, I think, are doing, and that they're there to stop the child trafficking. So they're trying to sort of push it into other agendas to give reasons for
Justifying.
this. Yeah, by using this whole idea of conspiracy theories, basically.
Yeah.
And then once you seed that, you get enough people saying, "Oh, yeah, is that true?" Because people don't do their research,
No.
and so they say,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's true," and then you get a whole wave of
believe
this
the media.
nonsense.
Yeah. Right, Javan
Yeah.
says, well,
Yeah.
everyone learns something from this on a spiritual level. I think a spiritual level is really happening where people are pulling together, aren't they, with donations, money, food, so the world is learning from it, aren't they?
Yeah,
We
I
must
agree.
all be as one.
I agree. I really think that how horrible this might be, and not might be, it is horrible that there is a war raging again. But I really think there is a change happening in
Yes.
the human consciousness, that we common people, represented by people we supposedly have chosen, we common people are now really saying we don't want this.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that this
I think
will
so, yeah.
this will rise our consciousness.
Yeah.
I think it will.
I'm pretty sure
And you're
about,
talking
I
about
truly
the common
hope.
people in China too, aren't you?
Yes, and the Russian people are
Yeah.
also speaking out. Listen,
Exactly.
we don't want this. So what the media has trying to do over the last years, like Ozay brought forward, that trying to put us up against the Russians. Russians are bad. No, the Russian people want a happy life, just like us.
Yes.
The
Yeah, yeah.
Chinese people, I speak with Chinese people myself. They are very restricted in the media they are allowed to use. They all say, we just want a happy life.
Just a small amount of people is controlling all of us.
Yes.
The problem
yes.
is when you get warlike situations, you tend to dehumanize the enemy.
Yeah.
That's right.
The enemy becomes something as a monster that's faceless.
Yeah.
And we therefore say, it's Russia, and it used to be that way in the past, didn't it?
That's
Russia
exactly
was
my
the-
point with
Yeah.
Putin. They are trying to demonize him. And
But I think the man is a
watched
bad
him.
man, though.
I don't know.
you
I don't
know.
know. What do you know about Putin? Where do you get your information from? The BBC?
Yeah, but I
And
think
are
any
they-
man that goes in
what happened?
and orders the killing of so
Children.
many people, including children, I think we've got to sort of look at that
Well,
and
that's
say,
always
whatever
bad.
he's
Yeah.
like,
That's not good.
we know
They're
this is
innocent.
wrong. So you judge a person by their fruit. By their fruits you shall know them. And whatever we know about them, because we don't know everything, of course we don't, because it's all sort of hidden away, isn't it?
Yeah, and Lottie brings a really good point in
Yeah.
here. She says, "I pray for the serious peace talks," And she asked if we have to try to encourage peace talks. Really good point, Lottie, because do we really think that the people who are involved in the peace talks, that they are coming from us, normal, common people, or are they all coming with their own agendas?
Yeah, I mean the problem is the common person never gets a voice in, do they?
No, but
we're the proletariat in the Russians' eyes, we're the consumer in the capitalist eyes, we're the plebs. we're supposed to vote for the people to speak on our behalf. And I've said this before, but look at the leaders we have around the world. How many could we actually say are people that we could say that person speaks for me?
yeah.
I don't think any world leader, I can't think of anybody. They all seem to be completely self-focused.
Well, yeah.
And we've got to
their
change
own-
the top,
their
all of
own
us. Somehow we've got to
agendas.
change the top.
You look at it, right? What are we doing now? We're talking about the war in Ukraine, right? And 15 years ago, Putin said he felt he was under threat from Ukraine, NATO's expansion to Ukraine. And so we've had 15 years, they've had 15 years to talk with Putin and to, come to an agreement. But they didn't. What did they? So Putin, just like anyone, if Russia was in Cuba with missiles pointing at America, how would America feel about that? And I think Putin, that's what I mean. He's not a madman, because that is just somebody who's backed into a corner, and he's protecting his country, and he's doing it a dishonest way, yeah, because democracy doesn't work. But if you ask people to vote on that, they would say no. So he has to, just like our democracy lies to us to make us do things we wouldn't do in a vote, so the leader of Russia lied to his people to make their people stand behind him as well, because he knows that they're too close to us with nuclear weapons. And how would they like it if we were in Cuba with missiles pointed at them?
Or is the NATO thing just a bit of an excuse?
It's a manipulation.
Because, I
Yeah.
mean, yes, I
possible.
could understand them not wanting NATO's, because they got NATO all down the borders everywhere. Next thing, not sure what happens with the Scandinavian countries, but a lot of those are in NATO already, aren't they?
Yeah.
So if he's got NATO, then
Sweden
all
is.
it means, NATO, it's not an offensive thing. It's to say, if you attack one of us, we all defend.
Yeah.
It's a defensive organisation.
But it's still just look, because I spoke about that with Ozay earlier on. We are talking about the reasons that they bring forward to make us sympathetic to their actions, going to war. But I personally think it's much more useful for us common people to look at our own behavior in our own little circle. I think our consciousness, our awareness, our love behavior needs to be brought to work.
We need to all start being more spiritual.
Yeah, in our own circle, to accept our differences, to accept that some people think different. They don't necessarily are right, and we necessarily
I think
are not
times
right.
like this, it's always good to go back to Gandhi a bit, although I know we've had a few talks about Gandhi in the past, but one of the things he said, you've got to be the changes you want to see in the world. And actually, that's how it works. That's how we'll only ever get
That's a lot of light, so
anything
isn't it?
true.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Joshua says,
yeah.
will there be a revolution in Russia? The people will turn on Russia, the Russian people, but they have fear in their hearts at the moment because they're putting children into prison if they for Ukraine. So it's like their heads are banged against the wall.
You think the Russians themselves? You see, the Russians are not getting much information. They're not getting. All the media of the West has been shut down.
Well, only recently.
They're not seeing the
Only
BBC or any of
recently.
it, whatever we
and
might
this
think
is
of them.
also an interesting point. Putin has now closed down the radio stations. They are not allowed to use the word war. If they use the word war, just saying the word war on their channel, 15-year prison, just like
Yes.
that. So, but it's ridiculous. But we also have to look in Ukraine, the opposition of the president, the current president, he shut down also all the radio stations. We pretend now that Ukraine is a really great democracy, it's not. They have also cracked down on the opposition.
Yeah.
So the
They put him
common
in prison,
people.
didn't they? the opposition leader, they put him in prison.
Yeah, so the opposite, we all
Mind you,
have
we're
to...
not allowed to say certain words on YouTube, you know.
No,
Is that
we get
democracy?
banned.
But-
It knocks you down
Yeah,
if
but
you
that's
even
not
what
democracy.
say it.
What we do,
Yeah.
what we have to do is stop talking about they are bad and they are good and therefore the war is not justified. No, war is never justified. We have to come to the point that war is just never justified. We are in this day and age still barbarically killing innocent lives because we want to push our policy forward or our
But then there's the other
ideology.
side to that coin as well, and I'm not necessarily saying this is right,
No.
but they often say that evil triumphs when good men don't act. You know,
Yes.
and it's the
A
same
lot
with
of good
war. You
people
know,
haven't been
sometimes you
acting.
have to defend. I mean, you were in the army for a long time, Ozay, weren't you? I mean, we have to stand up to evil. But the best way to overcome evil really is ultimately perseverance in the good, become good
Where
people,
is the
set up
evil?
good societies.
Aye.
But so often, look at the history of the world, because history is so important with these things. You know, often countries grow into prosperous, peaceful countries, develop. India did. You could take in the Roman times that the power would destroy those
Yeah.
peaceful companies, and we shall, even in the Bible it says, we shall reap the seeds. We shall reap the crops that others have sown.
Yeah.
I mean, this happens all the time. So we have to also have a defence against it. War's a terrible thing, but sometimes have we any choice? You know.
I
We have to know
personally
where the
don't
evil is
believe
coming
in
from
wars,
first.
do you?
No, as long as we don't raise our consciousness,
Yes, that's
we
right.
will have war. And just Nadine
That's
said
a good
something
point.
very interesting. I still find it so strange that so many of them and those in surrounding areas think Putin is amazing. My boyfriend also sits opposite a guy who moved over here and is still supporting Putin now and thinks it's Ukraine and NATO who have caused all of this. It just baffles me how anyone can justify these actions.
Well-
Nadine, there is no justification for any war.
Shall I tell you
Thanks for
something
such
not
a
lot of
clear
people know?
question.
Yeah.
Shall I tell you
Yes.
something not a lot of people know about Putin? Firstly, I've watched Putin, I've learned about him from watching his YouTube, right? And you don't get the privilege of that on the BBC. And the other thing that not many people know is Putin asked to join NATO 2001. And Clinton was sitting in office then, and he blatantly turned him down. Why was that? We could have been all one big happy family together. Why?
That's interesting. I didn't know
Why
that.
did Clinton turn down Putin joining NATO? Surely that would have solved all this. This wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to educate ourselves to find out where the real evil is coming from. I don't think, like I said, I'm not a politician, but these things like wars and the killing of innocent people, they force me to research this stuff properly. We got to find out where the real evil is coming from. And I think what we call the fake news and the real news is the other way around. The real news is the fake news, and the fake news is the real
Yeah,
news.
I think there's a lot. That
And I think
Clinton
there's a
name
bit
has
of
a bit of a dark
intermingling.
side to it,
I
though,
think
as well,
there's a-
doesn't it?
Yeah, I think they should kind of pass over to each other to get a bit of truth here and a bit of lie there. But basically, it's the other way around, I
And
think.
what they also
The problem is
do-
it's the moderation, isn't it? It's a bit like voting. Stalin said, "It's not the voters that count; it's who counts the vote that count."
Yeah,
And it's exactly the
exactly.
same with the media. Really, we get them is who censors the media and who manipulates it. It's because this has become the scourge of our age. Really, fake news. Something that I think Trump brought to us all, didn't he? Really,
Yeah.
brought that to everybody's lips.
Yeah.
But the danger is there's also crap news out there too, because
Yeah.
I've seen an awful lot of channels that
You've
are
got to
just
research it.
jumping onto.
Yeah.
Or look at the medical stuff, the nonsense that goes out there. Look at somebody's making up fake stories. Those are the things.
But another thing as well, as human beings really have to start thinking for ourselves more and also try to understand people who are opposite our ideas and meanings. Because, for example, if you say something here, but what about Trump or what about Putin? They immediately, a majority of the people accuse you of being a lover of Trump or a lover of Putin. You cannot show people the other side of the situation without being accused.
Yeah, railroaded
And-
into
Yeah.
the belief system
Yeah.
That's
that
right.
the media puts out there. They narrate it.
We must
They-
think for ourselves.
Yes,
Yes.
They narrate the story of everyone. We don't know. We think we know everything, but everything we know comes from the media. And if you're a rich, powerful man, right, you don't make your name known out there that you really want to control the world. Or if that's, I'm not into conspiracy theories, but I think, like I said, with a logical, crystal clear reason in mind. And if I was somebody who was sinister and wanted to control the world, what would I do? First of all, I would get hold of the media and I would find a way to trick people into believing that the media is democratic and free, and then I would put the right people in place to control the media and what I wanted to go out there and make it look, well, use a topic, right? I'm going to get this person to talk once about it, and I'm going to get these 5 people to talk about the way I want it. And that's what our media's doing.
The media's.
If you
But
watch-
thankfully, we've got this.
Yeah, but
we've
if
got
you watch-
YouTube.
Yes,
People are able to
that's
listen.
right.
Let's pick
Farage-
up another question,
Yeah,
shall we?
okay.
Yes.
I am definitely supporting stopping this nightmare of pain. Every second that no peace, another family is broken, talk must continue at the same time. A temporary ceasefire, the peace, love,
It's
and
not going to
peace.
happen, is it?
Are we going to get a temporary ceasefire?
It's not going to happen, Craig.
I think that's a complete load of rubbish, isn't it?
No,
trickery.
but-
Lottie hopes for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Lottie, for that too.
But
That
he's
is a
tricked
thought.
people, hasn't he, in Ukraine? Because all those innocent people are meant to go freely over the border, and then they've been under attack.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
You
what
saw
happened
that.
in
You saw
Sweden.
the blue berries, didn't you, Jane? Now,
Yeah,
hopefully that
yeah.
is.
So there is peace to come, but it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
They
Do you
were-
think we'll get a peaceful solution out of this in the end?
I
This is
think
what
it's gonna go
obviously
on for
people
I
are
years.
think
thinking.
the world are not going to stand by and allow it to happen. They're not going to put air control in aircrafts over, because then we'll be open to be under nuclear attack.
Once aircraft get involved, you see the Ukrainian people can't do much without
No.
air power, can they?
No.
I mean, you've got that whole column of Russian stuff going in that is at easy pickings at the moment. If you sent aircraft in, you could knock the whole lot out in one shot. You know,
Well,
but then where do we go from there?
yeah.
Yeah, but let's hope that us
I think-
common people can rise up and stop it. I truly think it's the common people who
Yes,
can stop
yeah.
this.
And I think also the way we think always too, because often when we see all these things going on in the world, we forget about the inner world.
Yes.
It's obvious we're going to forget about the inner world because all terrible things are happening around us. But haven't we also got to always start to thinking it's not just about what's going on in the world, but what what we do within ourselves,
Yeah.
who we become when we become the changes in the world. It's only when we become awakened people
Yes.
that anything can really change forever. Because we had
Absolutely.
First World War, Second World War, we're going to get a third one. You know, when will we learn?
There's not going to be a winner in our war.
No.
No.
Well, the
There
only
is-
way we learn, I think, is
And
awakening.
I think they know that as well.
Awakening,
I think
yeah.
they actually know there's not going to be, as soon as that first bomb goes, then that's the end of it for everyone. Nobody wins.
Yes, yeah.
Mm.
Right? And Putin, that's what I mean. If you label him a madman, right, then the other side, like the Americans, he's a madman. We better strike him before he strikes us.
I
But
think,
no,
yes.
no, he bombed the nuclear plant, or his side did, but they didn't do any serious damage. But they want to make public opinion go with them and say, well, come on, let's make this peace deal quick and fast.
It's always
Because
dangerous
they're
when you
under
when you
threat. But he's not
demonise
gonna do
anybody.
it. How can he? If he bombed that and made it leak and everything, it would have gone quite as easy gone to Russia. The nuclear radiation as what it could to the
But
West.
he could have bombed it with his airplane if he really wanted to destroy
The way,
it.
I
He
looked
could
up the
have done
direction
I
of
think
the
it's a-
winds there. Actually, the prevailing winds there go towards Europe, not
Yeah.
towards Russia.
I think it's a chess move. He's a guy who's smarter than what people is saying he is, and he's making chess moves. And he's
Cat
making
and
this
mouse.
move,
Testing how
trying
far
to
we
make
can go.
this over here happen.
But I do really strongly think that this after the war ends,
Yeah.
please, what is your prediction? But before we go to a prediction, I truly think that we all can influence the outcome of this war by going inside of
yeah.
ourselves.
Exactly.
Not only examine what the media says is true or not, but if we are all doomed thinkers, then that energy we create a very negative energy.
That's
If
right.
we all go and sit in silence every day for a certain amount of time, we can change the energy
Yeah.
flow in the
Yeah.
world. We can change and encourage the
Yeah.
people who have the influence to end this, to end it.
It takes a lot.
That's more
Yes,
powerful
takes a
than
lot,
and that is
but
where meditation is so important. I
Yeah.
think that is the way to rise our consciousness.
Yeah.
And also, when you sit in meditation, you will be able to see your own predictions, your own possibilities in the future. And this is a wonderful Jane who sees the predictions and
The problem is when we do our predictions, you've got to see what you see.
yes.
And I can't say, okay, I'm going to just tell everybody lovely things,
Yeah.
and therefore everybody's thoughts will turn towards lovely things and will enter some level of reality where everything's nice. It don't work like that.
Right. Would you like to read this one? Someone's
Um,
donated.
Yeah,
what is-
Donated
yeah.
65.
What is your predictions, Jane and Craig? When will it end? Thank you. So what is our when will it end? Will it end?
I think it's good.
Well, can I say, one of my visions I saw today was submarines under the sea and going towards that as standby. And I feel though he's going all on the outside of Ukraine, he's got a plan. Like Phil said, he's quite a clever man. I wouldn't say he's nutty like you would say, Craig. I'd say he's very calculating.
Yeah.
Nutty
That's
and
what I was-
calculate and go together sometimes.
Well, I wouldn't say he's nutty. I feel he's intelligent.
But what I see
I
the
don't
final
feel,
outcome.
Can I finish?
Yeah.
I don't feel, thank you, I don't feel that the world is going to stand by and let these things happen.
Yeah.
Because I feel at the moment, like you've said, every thought that goes out to the etheric are real thoughts, and we can create all good things by being good, going towards it. Bombs and aircrafts and nuclear submarines, that doesn't solve the world. He knows if he presses that button and nukes people, he's not going to go down in history, because there'll be no history, will there?
That's right.
So what about the question that's been asked
Yeah.
though? What do you see as the final outcome of this?
I don't feel it's going to be as bad as people think. I'd say it's going to go, I see a good 6 months continue to actually, that's it.
Okay, and what I see is, I think it will come to a conclusion in the end. I think it will
6
stop.
months.
And I see, ultimately, I think either he's going to, like you said, Phil, he'll either have a division of East and West Ukraine, because that's something I talked about before. That's going to be, it's hoped for.
Yeah, and
But I
settle
think it
that.
would take too many troops to hold that.
Mm.
So I think what he will do is keep the seaports at the bottom and a corridor to Russia, because he can. I think the main objective is to link Crimea to Russia, because it's not linked at the moment. So he gets a landmass from Crimea to Russia, and if he can going into Kiev, will help to destabilise it so much so they can't fight back. There's no the government, the infrastructure, everything being messed up. We got a weak Ukraine, and the best, he'll try to hold an East and West Ukraine. At the as his consolation prize, he'll have a corridor up through there, and then I think it'll start to stabilise. But what will the West do? Will the West continue to keep up their sanctions? I think money's too important, and I think probably what they say is, okay, you know, they quietened down about Ukraine. They let him keep it, didn't they? In the end, they let him keep it.
Yeah.
So I think it's our problem at the end of the day. We create the
My
problem.
prediction is that it will be sorted only with the help of the Russian people. If that happens, this will be finished very quickly. Putin will be assassinated, and hopefully somebody more peaceful will take his place, because that is not certain either. If Putin is assassinated, who is going to fill his place? Are we better off? Are we worse
You've got
off?
some pretty
So
bad cronies.
that I can't see, but what I can see is that if the Russian people, who are very powerful, and we can all help those Russian people from our own distance by sending them positive energy, by letting them feel that we love them, that we don't take this war against them. And if that does not happen, many people, I don't want to worry anybody, but the war will come to Europe and even into England.
Yeah.
So it's a very dangerous situation.
My point, I think, I'm in two minds, because I think Putin's in two minds myself. And I think that if Putin feels successful, he gets to the halfway point with the river Dnapro that runs down through Ukraine and cuts it in two. I think he's going to get to there, and he's going to decide then. And I think it could go on for years personally. that they'll come to a stagnation. He could stand there, and if he thinks he's done it successfully and it was easy for him, I think he's going to push forward further into NATO countries, because if he doesn't, I think personally that NATO will try to win back and regain the power again. So, and I think that it could go on for years, personally. That's just my opinion. I'm not an expert.
So what's everybody's thoughts out there?
Yeah,
you know,
Ria
put
brings
your
a
comments in the comment below,
Yeah.
because it's very, you know, we produce these YouTubes, and hopefully, you know, you can all come here and share your ideas, and we'll all of us go online and answer some of those in the comments below. So put your comments below, and let's have your opinions even after we've gone live. Because
There's another
it's really
question
interesting.
Do you
Yeah,
want
but-
to read that?
Because
Yeah.
Jane said something really interesting about the golden age, didn't you? That it will start probably
Golden
the end,
age.
at the end of this year, didn't you?
Yeah,
If so.
So
sorry, because Craig keeps talking.
aren't
Sorry.
we on an
That's all right.
ascending cycle towards the golden age? We're being asked by Ray here. Would something that bad even ever happen now?
But Jane said something about the golden age. What did you see earlier on about the golden age, Jane?
I feel we'll be going into a different age, and that people come together, and there'll be love and there'll be peace. And I feel, well, Craig felt he would be poisoned, but I don't feel that, Putin.
No.
I saw a general of the Russian regiment holding a gun to Putin's head, and then he turned it on himself. I can't say when that's going to happen, but that's a vision I saw.
I see a golden age coming,
Me
definitely.
too.
I think all of this is a prelude to it. I mean, it's the darkness before the dawn.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think we've got to think like that, because it's like when you do a reading for somebody, you know, you see something bad. And my teacher always used to say to me, if you see something bad, tell them about it, but then look beyond, because there's always something good that comes along further along the line. There's always something else coming. And that bad thing is there to, you've got to help them as a psychic to see beyond and get to the next step, as it were. And actually that's what's happening globally.
Yeah.
I think we will have a whole planetary changes in such a way that at the moment materialism dominates easily. Materialism finds it easy to dominate the world agenda. But in time, I think materialism will find it harder to dominate, and the higher consciousness, as it were, will become the dominant colour of our world.
Yeah, I think as well that this actually, I thought about the war before we even got to the war, and I thought, is that going to be good? And then I thought, it's going to be horrible. And then I thought, but always something good comes after something horrible. Humans, they only become empathic once they've suffered a lot. And so we become more like a woman, you know, she's pregnant with a baby, she goes through 9 months, and then she has that final point of pain, and then the baby comes, and then there's something beautiful is born from it.
That's
And
true.
World War I, World War II,
Yeah.
we had something, good things, there was a lot of evil, but I think that a lot of goodness also came from that. I mean, look at us today. And even the recent bout of the pandemic that we had, our technology is becoming much more advanced. We are communicating now in ways we're using less vehicles on the road, and so you know that was a little bit of suffering.
And people
Look
are
at this
asking, aren't
channel
they?
as well, yeah,
I mean,
because-
she's asking, do you think that it was divine intervention, angels perhaps, that helped the nuclear plant from exploding and just going safely into a meltdown? I mean, this is another thing here. I mean, okay, I'm not into angels, I'm not into a sort of a Father Christmas God, but I do think that there is a kind of a divine consciousness to existence, which we are part of.
Yeah.
And that if we have hopeful thinking, and I think consciousness, this is something we've spoken about before, the universe is here so that consciousness can exist. It is consciousness, okay? There's another way of describing it all. So therefore, if the universe has come into existence so that consciousness can be, consciousness cannot fail. So the continuation of the human race, the continuation of the existence that we have here on Earth has to succeed in that. It cannot fail, because everything is designed for consciousness to be.
Yes.
So it cannot fail.
That's right.
That's
And-
my thoughts.
And we are not powerless. We common people are not powerless. That is what we all have
Consciousness is
to
us.
really understand. That all of us who are now here together in this little hour together, we all are connected straight away to our consciousness, and we can talk to you all from all over the world. New Zealand, Canada, you are all here, and we connect to each other. And I think that is the way out of waging war. We are going to see each other as another human being connected to me. Okay, we have a different culture, a different religion, but we all connect. And I think the internet can play a very crucial role in this all.
The lady, she asked about angels, and here's my take on that. And I think that sometimes an angel, if you like, or the divine plan can happen in this way. A Russian military officer gets pissed, let's say, and this is the action of the angel, and he'll put it in his head, bomb the nuclear plant, but don't hit it in the center, hit it in a place where it's not going to get. That happens so that it shakes the world up and the people up, because, you know, nobody can win a nuclear war, we all know that. If a general or anybody said, right, bomb that nuclear plant, he's actually saying, I'm going to lose the war by doing that, because that's going to destroy me, the same as it's going to destroy the Ukrainians. Why would you do that? And I think that sometimes we are possessed by thoughts. Like when we did the Saturday walks, how many times did we go on those walks and me and Ahiranta would speak about something the night before, and what would we do? You would start speaking about the very things we were talking, and sometimes they were quite out of the way. So
and vice versa.
So was that your thought?
Synchronization.
Yeah, was that your thought? Was it Ahiranta's thought? Was it my thought? Where did it come from?
Yeah.
And why? How does that happen?
Because just to explain to people what we used to do, we used to sort of have a talk, didn't we?
Yeah.
One week, and next week we'd go off on our different ways, come back and have another walk together, and we immediately talk about the very thing that both of us have been doing exactly the same things the week before.
Yeah.
I think there's this also this thing behind things. We talked about consciousness, but there's also this idea that there's synchronization, that things fall. There's no such thing as coincidence.
No,
there's like a divine plan.
Yeah, that's right.
And that divine plan, again, I think
sometimes
is
you're used.
Oh, and this is also very interesting, because I spoke about this yesterday with you. Stephen says China overflew Taiwan when the invasion happened. Will they take advantage of the situation? That's a really good point of Stephen, because
they normally do,
it sounds really bad if China would go and pick Taiwan in this moment of time. But realize, and that is where I think angels and consciousness plays a part, to keep China away from joining Russia, because that would be disastrous in my humble opinion. China has his eye on Taiwan, but that prevents a World War III. It sounds horrible, and I can't see that China goes into Taiwan. I think what happens now is going to change everything. What is happening now in the Ukraine. I think, like you said, the golden age is coming, and I see it at the end of this year.
Yes.
So, although we are in a horrible situation, that China has a focus on Taiwan prevents them of joining Russia, which in itself is a really positive thing.
I think we're very close. I think we're very close to a good time.
Yes.
I think 2023. A number of people have thought that 2023 is the time.
I feel that too.
23 is spiritual number too.
Yes, I
and
feel that too.
I think that could be it could be the time, and I think what's going to happen too, because I believe that there's, everybody can have different levels of consciousness, but I think there are certain people that come into this world who have a level of consciousness that's beyond our comprehension.
Did you?
And I think there will be, like Jane and I went to see Sai Baba and things, and that was something that was out of my normal understanding of what a person's consciousness could be like.
Yeah.
I think we will have people like that again on the earth, and I think that's going to happen. I don't think it's space people. I think it's just highly evolved people coming in human form. They don't need to come in space
I'm here,
forms.
Craig. I'm here.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah, I was just
That's
going to say
me.
we are here already.
Yeah.
Well, we all are. We all have the potential to be
I'm a
very
seer
high
of
level.
the 21st
Did you hear
century.
about the experiment with the a bunch of, I think it was Stanford University students? They they went to certain cities and towns all around America, and about 1% of each town, they place students there and meditate. And in every one of those towns, and this was a scientific experiment,
about this, yeah.
and in every town where they meditated, the crime rates dropped. And that tells us something. I mean, we know because we sat in circles how meditation and invoking things can make things in the world happen around us. Without us
because we sat round tables like this, haven't we, raising the energy.
I think the greatest power on this planet is not nuclear power, but humanity's ability to manipulate through meditation and peace and love, and that they can change the world. If 1% of the population can change the crime rate in each city, then it means that if all our people that don't want war meditate on it and send good things out, that it can change the planet.
It can indeed. And as they're saying here, if Putin was filled with love, he could not wage war.
Very good point, Mary.
Interesting.
Very good point.
Yeah.
I think sometimes leaders become so distant from the people they represent.
Oh, all of them.
And that's, yes, the ego. And that is the whole point of our spiritual development, to become aware of our ego and to get control over our ego, and by that you become unable to harm another human being. So Mary, totally, absolutely.
And also,
agree.
I think just looking at that as well, that I can't remember the name of the politician in Ukraine, but they're all out fighting on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, that's in touch with your people, if ever there was, and it's like the fighting kings of old, you know. I mean, I think that's something we should look to.
Have Viking
you know, could those men are going to get the Nobel Peace Prize? I think.
Personally, though, I think
they're going to get the Nobel Peace Prize.
What they've done there, I saw a YouTube the other day, and there was one of the mayors who's a little small woman, right, and she's a mayor in one of the towns there. And they give her a rifle.
Yeah, I saw
She
that
got
too.
a rifle, the rifle's so big as her, right? And she was asked, do you know how to use the rifle behind you? And she said, no, I haven't got no idea how to. Do you know, right, there's a lot of people in Ukraine have been given rifles, and that will do more harm than good, because a Russian soldier sees you with a rifle, he doesn't know you can use it, he's going to shoot you dead. And all those people are going to die because they're armed. Yeah. So that's bad news, what they've done there.
It's not just, you've worked with guns, haven't you? In
you've
the
got
army,
to be trained.
so you've got to use it.
You need to know how to clean the things. You know how to look after them, and they have to be a part of your body. And you could leave it there, somebody's going to steal it and turn it on you.
Yeah, but at the same time, if somebody was going to, Russian or whoever was going to kill a child in front of you, you would instantly, as a mother, pick that up and shoot that person to protect your child, wouldn't you?
I think I'd rather be armed.
Not that
than
you
not.
want to,
it's a very difficult situation.
And politically, I mean, the Americans have been saying, "Oh, we're going to send in arms. We're not going to send in troops. We're going to send in arms." They're all saying, the British said, "We're going to send in arms." French have said, "But it's no good. You can have 1,000 anti-tank weapons in this room, and we wouldn't know how to use one of them."
But why do they send it? That's the next
It's
question.
I know why
and
they send it.
That is all about money.
Yes.
Because they don't give it.
Well.
They don't give it for free. They will ask payment afterwards.
Yeah.
Or
But
even
what about
so-
this?
so-
What about this? They don't want the Ukrainians to like the Russians, and if the Russians go in there and they have to kill all those people who's armed, then they will get a negative political stand. But if Russia could just move in there and everybody put their arms down, because Russia's going to win in the end, right? And this is just a political statement. You stick weapons in all those people's arms, you put bullshit in their head that they freedom, we'll fight for our country, they're going to get killed. Russia is too powerful for those people, those Ukrainians.
It's an illusion to think we can do that. I agree.
So it's a political message, that is. They're sticking arms into them so that the Russians go in there, they have to kill the civilians because the civilians will kill them.
Nice thought again here coming in with Mary here saying we can send love to Putin.
Yes, that's right.
All of us can
Yes.
listen. And I'm going to do some meditations next week. I've got
Yes.
planned already.
Take meditation classes, and
Yeah.
if you've got 1,000 people out there who can meditate, remember the 1%, that's 1 million people
Yeah,
that you can
yeah.
affect in the world.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And everybody can do that. Everybody that's watching this channel, and I know a lot of people that do watch this channel are very much into
Yeah, come and join
meditate.
us.
You know,
Yeah.
we're all
Join
going to
this
be
channel.
working on. It's good to anything that you bring into your life. You first have to visualize.
Yeah.
Nothing can come into your life unless you've had a vision of it somehow, good or bad.
Yes.
And you can do that in your personal life, and you can do it collectively.
Right, now Jane says, I think the Russian people will turn against Putin. Half of them have already, Jane, I believe.
Yes.
So our media is telling us.
Well,
Yes.
we don't know,
Real.
do we?
Is that just politics again? We don't
Yeah.
know.
Look at the Iraq War, when all that happened, you know, the rubbish that they were putting on television that afterwards, all the weapons of mass destruction
Yeah, it
Yeah.
to
was
make
lies.
us go in.
Yeah.
Which was
Absolute
all a lie.
lies.
Yes.
Tony Blair lied through his teeth.
Yeah, and
you
where
know?
do they know? They should be in prison.
Putting the whole future of the world at risk.
And they
right?
are never
Weapons of
taken.
mass destruction.
They're never taken to court. never have
nobody
to.
got
Nobody got
criminalised.
blamed, did
And
they?
how
They're
many
trying to
people?
criminalise Putin right now. They, what about? He was just protecting his own country. And
Well,
again,
I wouldn't have said going into Ukraine is protecting.
Well,
No.
15 years, Craig. He said 15 years ago, I don't like this. This is a threat to our country. You've been talking for 15 years.
And he wanted to join the NATO.
What would they do if it was Cuba?
The problem is, isn't it, really? This shouldn't have happened.
No.
Like you say.
There is
You
no
saw it
excuse.
coming.
There's
But it
no
does happen.
excuse.
It shouldn't have happened because, you know, people should be talking to each other.
Yes.
NATO's
And we should,
expanding.
and I think we should be standing up to our democracies much more. And I actually blame,
Fake democracy.
I blame capitalism really, because everything's about making more money
Yeah.
and trimming in more money on these vast companies, making
Oh,
huge
that's
profits. And you know, we buy a Chinese, we buy Russian. we could use money all the time.
Let's
organise things.
Ozay.
Yeah, that's good.
Vikas is talking to you.
That's very
Go
good.
on, off you go. Shall I read it for you?
I'll
Come
read
on,
it,
you
shall I?
have to read it
No,
out
no,
loud. You must
You read.
request the gentleman with the hat to join in for more sessions. He speaks well and compliments you. Power of meditation is more than nuclear power.
It is.
Absolutely,
Exactly,
I think we
Vikas.
all ought to go. I mean, thank you for the compliment, Vikas.
Yeah.
And I get too big-headed when you do stuff like that, but it's very kind of you. But nevertheless, and I have to keep my ego down a bit because it's too overwhelming sometimes. But I think that if we can join together, like we joined together tonight in this discussion here, and blend together, then you out there will blend together, and the power of meditation, I know we can change the world.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
also
Yeah,
remember, because
absolutely.
they don't know out
Absolutely.
there that
Yeah.
we've all sat together in circles
Yeah,
for
we know
many,
the power
many
of it.
years.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah,
sat
we worked
in
together for
spirit- like,
years,
This is
yes.
a seance
It
room,
is a
right?
very amazing
Um,
thing, and I hope we get to train people.
So we'll definitely be on.
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you,
Oh,
Millie.
yeah,
Is
Millie.
Jane part of this discussion? Am I, Craig?
Yeah, go on then. You can say whatever you like, Jane.
Yes.
Do I
Go
get
on,
a
let's have some
chance?
talk, let's have
Go
some
on.
time from you.
I think it'd be nice if we had a special day to do World Meditation, Craig, and perhaps we can do it on here on Wednesday. What do you think?
We can do multiple ones, yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
know
I think
you've
it's-
done some
I
on your
think it's a
channel
great
too. I've
idea.
done some,
Yeah.
you do some, yeah. we'll
And
do
I
them
think
all.
if we can all have that power of thought for goodness in the world to protect everybody.
Yeah, we could perhaps do one. If we're going to come in here, we might be able to do a live on Wednesday. Possibly.
Yes.
Well, anyway, we can plan that
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. I'm up for
Yeah,
that.
and,
Yeah.
and I don't want to, but we have our own channel about meditation,
Mhm.
where we try to inform people about the power of meditation, how important it is. And it's not a very popular channel, but that is not the point. We try to make people aware how powerful we can be,
Yeah.
all us, we have come together tonight for an hour all together, and it's so powerful. Even us talking, we have made a change already.
And
Yes.
it's also all on the Patreon channel as well, because we've also been filming some stuff here tonight
Yeah.
beforehand, behind the scenes, and that'll also connect you to their channel as well. So those of you that are patrons, you'll be getting some more interesting stuff there.
Yeah.
And if you become a patron, you make all this possible. You
Yeah.
know, we've been
Oh,
able to
that's
do
nice.
this work and make this place
That's
work
good,
because
yeah.
we've because of the support that you've been given as patrons. So have a look in the description below and consider becoming a patron. And if you don't want to become a patron, then you're a stingy nut. You shouldn't be watching this channel in the first place. But it really does help us
Yeah.
and helps us to do our spiritual work
And
as well.
Kieran says something really nice there.
Can we have live meditation sessions? Definitely.
Absolutely.
And I think the world would be a better place for it,
Yes.
and that's definitely going to happen for
And
all
now
of us.
people ask for
Yes.
it themselves. It's
Yes.
time to start
Yeah.
doing it
I
because
think it's
we
right
all
now.
meditate in private.
Yeah, I think we
Yes.
can do lots of different ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
it
did
was all
a
part of it.
psychic channel, right? And that was an amazing thing because you was the first person on planet internet to invent a psychic channel. And I was amazed by that you could do a reading on the internet about the people who live, somebody who lived in Australia.
Oh, this is like when the chat rooms you're talking about, when
Yeah,
it was
but
all the
First
all
one.
early
You can tap-
days.
There's something in us that's amazing that we can just tap into other people's minds and lives and, like psychometry, and you pick all that information. It's on the internet. So if that works on the internet, it can work.
Yeah, it can.
On YouTube.
We connect. It's the same like when
Live.
we had our circles.
Yeah.
We would sit here and we'd connect, and the energy
All
in the
around the
room
world.
would go
Yeah. How does it
whoa,
work?
wouldn't it? And we'd
Yeah.
even have lights flashing around.
How
the
did
room
it
and
go,
things like-
Craig?
but we had a sort of a real power of energy that
there
came
was.
through.
Yeah.
That, I mean, few people have experienced that actually.
Yeah.
But it shows what's possible,
Very
and
possible.
it shows that it's also, like you say, it can connect to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody can connect. And if we can all connect, the whole world can connect like this, I
Yeah.
mean, surely it's going to make a difference. Does it take, it only takes a little seed to grow an oak tree.
Yeah.
And if we all work together, we can make that golden age happen. Even if it's not predicted,
Yeah.
even if it's not in the destiny of mankind, we can still make it happen.
It's the last question for
Yeah, last
my
question.
channel as well.
Yeah, and don't forget, Jane's got her own channel as well now. Just type in Jane Hamilton Parker Psychic Medium, and you'll be able to find her channel.
And I do get, and believe you me, I do get a chance to talk on it.
Yes.
Oh, sorry about
Yeah,
that.
sorry, Jane. I mean,
Yeah.
we all tried to let
No,
you
no,
come
no,
in.
no, that's all
Your
right. I'm
energy
just
is
saying
just so
Craig.
calming.
So
and
gentle,
thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I.
No, no, no,
overtalked
no,
you.
I love it. I
And
love it.
again, thanks to all the patrons again.
Has that
because,
picture moved slightly?
might have done.
It has.
I think
Because it
it's-
was straight and
I
then
It
think
might
it's,
she's
be
trying to say something.
it's moved
Yeah.
slightly. Queen Victoria. Perhaps she does approve.
But perhaps she's a patron. So don't forget, guys, become a patron. Help us with the channel, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you've just come here, and put a comment. What do you think's going to happen? Are you a psychic person that's got some ideas about what you think the future has? Maybe some of the astrologers that join us might want to put a comment in the comments below. All of those comments make this whole channel so much more lively, because we want to hear from you as well.
And what kind of meditation they would like us to
Yes,
have.
good
Yes,
idea,
Let
Bianca.
us know, yeah.
Yeah. So remember to subscribe and hit that bell, and then you'll you'll get updates every time if you come here after we've gone live, and then you'll start to come and visit us every Saturday evening at 7 o'clock. We do these shows.
Yeah, yeah. Alexandra, what did she say?
She says, Sairam Om Gayantra Mantra chant, it helps the highest good.
Does.
The
That is
Gayantra is
Alexandra.
the highest mantra,
Yes,
they
what
say.
I think we
Hindus
know
do.
Alexandra, don't we? Is Alexandra not from our place? Alexandra?
I'm not sure of her.
Okay.
The
Well,
Gayatri
Alexandra.
mantra. Om Bhu
Yeah.
Bhuva Swaha
Yeah,
Tat Savitu Varenyam. Good mantra.
yeah.
So, you know, another good talk would be about psychometry, because what is that?
Yeah,
We've got to do that
We
one,
could
don't
do, and we could perhaps, if we could get, because what I'd like to do is have guests in here that we've, like, who somebody sat there that's never been here with us before,
Yeah.
do a meditation, get our energy up, and do some psychometry for them, for example.
we'll
Shall
do
we,
some
shall we
medium.
quickly
Yeah.
do Sandy?
Yeah, you do
Yes.
this one.
Sandy says, Ukraine has been showing a lot of kindness and humanity throughout this war, like having Russian mothers pick up their children. Will Ukraine's kindness be able to make the impact that might change the consciousness you guys are talking about, be able to stop World War III, or change the world into a peace and love area?
Era.
Oh,
Yeah.
era, sorry. Thank you, Sandy. Well,
Yes.
yeah, kindness, kindness will change everything.
Yeah, and
Kindness
compassion and
makes
love.
the world go round.
Well,
Jane
yeah.
is so kind. You talk about kindness.
Well, to be kind from the heart and compassion and love is all within us, and we have to release that. Because if you have blocks and people get negative and angry, it stops kindness. So therefore, we must all be as one in this very special time.
Yeah, and even if you don't feel kind towards the person straight away, pretend. Start from the point of pretending to be kind, and that kindness will flow inside of you, makes you a better person, and you will start understanding the other person
And there's
too.
a bonus too, because you feel happy.
Yes.
You can only
Yes.
ever be, you can't, do you know any happy person that's selfish? I
No.
don't know any happy person that says they might have pleasures and things, but they're not happy.
Yeah.
And happiness comes by giving, doesn't it?
But
Giving
this-
and forgetting.
This,
You know.
this lady, she said empathy was
Yeah.
the theme, and that little egg that got hatched became hatched because of the suffering, the mental suffering that the Russians were putting on those mothers and their children. And then another mother looks and she thinks, I don't want that to happen to my children.
Yes.
And then empathy is born. And
Very
it's
powerful.
it's only born when they're suffering. And if we can, it'd be a beautiful world if we didn't need the suffering. But unfortunately, I hate to say it, but
Lessons.
we don't grow without suffering.
Yes.
I hate that idea, but it's true, isn't it?
Yeah, and Lottie says, lovely to see people meeting again. Yes, we missed each other tremendously,
We've
just
been
like
friends for
everybody
years.
else.
And do
yes.
you like this format? Do you like this format?
Yeah.
Let's hear your views. We'll obviously have multiple formats, this one and our standard one. But you know, do you like this? And perhaps a few people out there like to come and join us sometimes and join in the conversations with us.
Yes, and again, congratulations, Craig and Jane.
100,000
With 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
It's
thank
just fantastic.
Yeah.
And that is a powerful force against war, isn't
Yeah.
it? To
Don't-
bring love and...
Yeah. Don't come to our channel though if you don't want to hear the truth because you'll hate us. Please do not sign up to our channel.
Yeah, forget it. Yeah, then now go and look now. Okay, well I think we're on the goodbye times now.
Okay.
I wake up Sunday morning with
yes,
you.
he
so-
must be in Australia to be Sunday
Yeah, they
morning.
are.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Wishing peace for Ukraine. Thank you, Jane, Craig, and friends.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Peace.
Absolutely love this format. Awesome four.
thank you.
Yeah, we'll give you
Because
some
it's
more if
our
you like it,
biggest
guys.
friend tonight.
I like the
yeah.
videos from your home, so warm and cosy.
Oh, home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We haven't done many from the home lately, have
No.
we? You enjoy format, great. Yes, enjoyed format, great viewpoints.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah,
Kit.
thank you.
Thank you for the feedback.
Thank
Yeah.
yous. There's Letica.
Thank you.
And just let us know if they want us to talk about any other subjects.
Yeah, any topics you
Yeah.
guys want to talk about, put it in the comments below and
And
we'll
Law
pick
says,
it up.
lovely
Aw.
guests. Thank you for a good conversation. Yeah, they are
Thank
lovely,
you.
aren't they?
Yeah.
Be careful with my
Well,
ego.
congratulations. That's on that.
Yeah. Well, it is. Yes.
Yes, I love Around the Magic Table.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Lottie,
the Magic
yeah.
Theatre of Herman Hesse.
Amazed guy. Great name. Good format, but please put in more predictions. All right.
Yeah, but we do the predictions, but they're
Yes.
done on more of a separate video. So if you want to
Yes.
see the predictions, we can't just be going endless predictions. We discuss the predictions like we've done tonight,
Yes,
really.
yes.
And we do make special predictions, particularly at the beginning of each year, just about 3 months before the beginning of each year. We make the main predictions, and then you can see them happen. It's no
Yeah.
good just making predictions all the time.
And Eleanor also wants to have just Craig and Jane. I do understand. I love.
No, we'll have both.
Oh.
We're going to have both.
Yes,
both
she wants
sessions.
the others as
yes,
well.
we're going to have both sessions. Don't
Wonderful.
worry, guys. I love it. We'd love to see you all do a live séance, and that is part of the
We will
plans.
do in the future.
We're going to be doing a
Yeah.
circle here in due
Yeah.
course. There'll be others in that one as well, actually.
PCB. Yes,
Peace, man.
That's right. Oh,
Wonderful four here. Thank
Oh,
you.
that's
Sister
nice.
Shirley. Yeah.
I hate these four. They're rubbish. Oh, no, sorry. People in Russia and UK will have to live side by side again. Hope this ends soon enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, chaos engagement, we agree. Love to all, Mary.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mary.
Who's that guy with a hat on? I hate him.
Great show as usual.
He's the guy that owes me some money.
Precious, lovely. Thank you ever so much. Thank you, Precious.
Yeah.
Peace to all. And actually, if you go and look at their channel as well, another thing, there's a lot of videos on there, isn't there, about our past lives and our beliefs of
Yes, and
possible past lives
reincarnation,
together.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
We are in the process.
What's the name of your channel? Have you got a name for it at the moment?
It is the Happy Life Show.
Okay, you should be able to find it. I'll see if I can put a link somewhere.
Rinpoche
We can find
and
out some-
Ayranta, yeah.
Yeah, get a,
Talk on
Yeah,
meditation types, yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
If you were naked in format, would be more fun.
Oh,
well, shall we do that then? That's
right.
I'm up for it.
Okay, let's
You really wouldn't want to go
You really
there.
wouldn't wanna go
You really
there,
wouldn't
no.
want to go there.
Weight
Believe you me.
Watchers, beware. Thank you all. Namaste.
Namaste.
This is wonderful. I love you all. Thank you very
Aw.
much. Yeah, it's quite a fun format because I mean,
Yes.
it's great.
Yeah.
Lovely,
great.
inspiring talk. Keep the positivity going. Lives.
Seance
Seance
would be great, and that is
yeah.
coming. This is why we've got the new set.
It's
you
in the
know.
pipeline.
It's in the pipeline. There'll be lots of things like that. But we also want people to come and visit us. Come here. We're based in Winchester. We want to get a few guests that want to come and join us for interviews, or maybe even come and join us for a live seance. You know. So send us your comments through psychics.co.uk, which you can just read in the top of the corner of the screen there. And if you want to come and become a guest on our show with me and Jane, sometimes we'll do interviews. We're here in Winchester, but you need to get in touch with us. So come through the website. And I think it's about time we're all going to say
Yes,
goodbye
we've
now.
all got to go
Yeah.
home and be tickety
Yeah.
boo.
Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us, folks.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks.
Bye for now.
Nice.
Ciao.
What's that? Namaste.
Would you like to know more about the paranormal world? Craig Hamilton Parker's books are now available on Amazon. Explore the future. Discover what happens after death. Unlock the secrets of your dreams. Learn to develop your own psychic skills.